The third toe over here, something else stepped in it.
Huh.
And so there are only two good toes.
So you just found that?
Oh, yeah.
And do you know how old it is? No, probably not.
Yeah, this is probably 100 million years ago,
Wow.
110,
Years ago.
105.
By the time South America separated from Africa. So you work at NASA. How come you have all these fossils in your office?
So this gentleman, who's the local authority on dinosaur tracks, he's never been to university. He's self-taught. And he dropped his wife off, who works at NASA, after lunch one day. And he looked up on the hillside and he saw the edge of this rock. So he stopped his car in the parking lot and walked up to the rock. And this is a large track. This is about 30 centimeters across, of a nodosaur, these sort of armored dinosaurs. At the same time, a $30 million building was about to be constructed there. So the head of the building called me because I performed a lot of ground penetrating radar and magnetic surveys for archaeology. And they called and said, "Tucker, we have a problem. We want you to get over here, God damn it, as soon as possible. Survey this area so we can find where these rocks are so we can move them so we don't lose $30 million for the construction of the building." That's how I got involved. So two colleagues and I went over, we surveyed the area, we discovered it was a much larger rock, and this is about 3 meters by 1 meter, and then we made a cast of it. Then we put this in a warehouse for a year or two. We only thought there were 2 tracks on it, the discovery track and one other track, and then we had to move it, and so we moved it over. We decided to take it over to Mr. Stanford's house, because he's an insomniac, and put it in his basement to give him something to do. And then Mr. Stanford calls and says, "I hope you're sitting down, Tucker, because I have something to tell you." So I sat down in this chair, and he said, in the big discovery track, he found 3 baby nodosaur tracks. So it was a parent and child. So then he called the next day and said, "I found a bunch of mammal tracks." So all these blue tracks are mammal tracks. And we have more mammal tracks than have ever been found in the rest of the world combined from the lower Cretaceous. So this is 110 million years ago. And then he called a few days later and said, "I found several carnivorous dinosaur trackways." And so we think all these tracks were made in 4 or 5 hours. They were
All of them are at the same time. I thought we were separated by millions of years. Wow.
And then he also found some tracks of some flying dinosaurs, or pterosaurs. So then I got the world's authority on dinosaur tracks to come in to verify everything, to make sure this wasn't Piltdown dinosaur tracks or some over-enthusiastic interpretation.
Yeah.
So the world's authority on dinosaur tracks, Martin Lockley, came, reviewed everything, said this is first-class work. So then all of us published a paper on it. And then Martin Lockley told me to analyze this and find all the over tracks I could find, where one dinosaur had stepped, or mammal, and then another one had stepped on top of it. I could only find one example, and that was in the bottom of this track. And so therefore we think this was in a tidal area. The tide came in, went out, erased everything. Then there was some sort of flood or something which deposited material, and that sealed it. Because of this, we think all these tracks were made in a few hours. And so therefore these are 4 species of the same small carnivorous dinosaur, about the size of a medium-sized dog, or maybe larger. And they were hunting as a pack. The spacing is the same, so they were going at the same rate of speed. And so they were going through here like this, looking for the mammals.
The scene of a crime.
Yes. Yes,
This is
or of a
amazing.
possible crime.
Yeah.
And then there's also, right here is the pterosaur foot track. In the middle of the pterosaur wing, they have 3 digits like this. So this is our new secret sign.
So this is it.
Yes, this is it, and this is the discovery track. This again is a nodosaur track, and here are the baby tracks. So these are my 2 favorite mammal tracks here. They're just like baby's hands.
Yeah, you look like human hands a little bit.
They do. And here are 2 rear mammal tracks of an animal that was sitting down.
Just watching all the action.
Yes, and there was a lot of action. And then this is the largest mammal track found from 100 million years ago, from the lower Cretaceous.
Really? Wow.
About the size of a medium-sized dog.
Huh.
Maybe our ancestor. And then the carnivorous dinosaur trackways, here, 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 up like this. And
How
then-
big? What maybe like this size?
So they were maybe something like this, about the size maybe of a smaller, medium-sized dog. But can you imagine them hunting together as a pack? It would be like encountering a pack of dogs. So in one of the television interviews on it, I was asked, why were all these tracks here? And I thought, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. So I said, Maryland's always been a really cool place to live. And then they asked the world's authority on dinosaur tracks a similar question in another interview. And Martin Lockley said, this was the place to be in Maryland 100 million years ago on Friday night.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Si quieres ser notificado cuando salga un video nuevo, suscríbete a nuestro canal oprimiendo el botón rojo y después la campanita.